Greetings, everyone. Happy Monday and happy Veganwary again. I am Mallory McCoy, your host of A Monday Moment with Mal, and I'd like to welcome you today to my show. Before we get started, I need to let you know that we are now streaming on Twitch. So you can catch me on my Facebook profile, my Facebook page when Mallory lives, my YouTube channel when Mallory lives, and my Twitch streaming page when Mallory lives. It is a new platform and I am swimming through it because, whoa, there's a lot to learn. Hi, everyone. As always, may this broadcast bring you what you need at this present moment, if that's the case. And my love is extended to all who could use a little extra. And may my light exude positivity and strength and kindness. Ashe and Ashe. Let's seize the moment. Let's get started. So, um, for gratitude, what am I grateful for this week? The small things. All the small things is what I'm forever grateful for. And I would like to put this energy of gratitude, I like to put this energy of gratitude into the space so that you can remember that even if there's tough times going on in your life, that you can still find a space to be grateful. This week, I am grateful for rest as I reflected on my winter break with my son and sometimes with my husband. We got to rest a lot and we spent a lot of time in each other's faces, a lot more time than what we would normally spend in each other's faces. And so I'm grateful for that. We're always moving and grooving. If you're a family like mine, it's like bam, bam, bam. So we never just get time to just be. So we had several times where we got to just be, and we all ended up on the same couch together in a sandwich. So I just love and appreciated those moments during our winter break. Also, I got to brag a little bit on my husband. He is, congratulations to him. He has started on a journey, and I'll talk to him in a future um, episode. But he started on a juice fast, and he is on day 8. So he will be doing the juice fast the whole entire month of January. And so just watching him demonstrate leadership and resilience and commitment to himself and to what he wants to do, I'm enamored. It makes me fall in love with him when I watch him be so dedicated and so committed to something that's near and dear to his heart. So you're at day 8, husband. Keep going. Also, he hasn't shared this yet because he's modest and he doesn't like to share things, but he found out that he received his 20-year military retirement letter. So whenever he decides, he could decide at any time to exit the military, and he has the letter to do so. So congratulations to him on an excellent military career. As soon as we met each other, the military became a part of my paradigm too. We did 2 10-month deployments, which actually was like a year both times. And he also was deployed before he met me. And so he's been in since 1999. And he was active duty, and he went from Navy to Army, and now he's in Army National Guard. And so I'm just so proud of him, and whatever he decides to do, he'll do it. So congratulations, Raymond, on receiving your 20-year military retirement eligibility letter. So proud. School started back last week, and my son, he he was ready to go back. He asked for school, or he asked to go to school on December 29th using his talking device. So I knew that he was ready to go back to school. And so glad school started, but today winter storm is upon us. So hopefully everybody will be able to get home safe. And then tomorrow there's a high chance that we won't have school here in the Kansas City area. So I'm sure he'll enjoy sleeping in just a little bit, but he also loves school. Um, I got to sub a couple of times last week, and let me tell you, whenever I sub, the kids make me feel like a rock star. So, I had to be like, no autographs, and one of the kids was like, "Well, you deserve it." So if ever you need to be pumped up and you need to be filled up, and you're, a dynamic person, interesting person like myself, I'm a little crazy when I take on an alter ego, kind of like Beyonce has Sasha Fierce. I don't know what my teacher alter ego is, but I go crazy in the classroom and kids really appreciate that. So anyway, felt like a rock star. Two more things. Thankful for friends who keep you grounded. I'm multi-passionate. So sometimes I can get a little lofty and be thinking about things. So thankful for my friends who keep me grounded. And Ophelia, shout out to you. You know our conversation, and you were like, "Girl, get that dissertation done." So still getting that dissertation done, and trying to hold off all of the ideas and things that I want to do for dissertation's sake. So it's like, come back, come back. You got to get something done. And then lastly, because I'm a part of the D9, happy belated Founders Day to the men of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and happy early Founders Day to my frat brothers, the resourceful and strong brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Z Phi. Okay, let's get into it today. So I normally don't watch YouTube commercials when they come. I just kind of skip it. And in fact, in my browser, I have a an ad block where I can skip YouTube commercials. If you ever need me to just show you, I'll show you. Just instant message me. Anyway, there was one commercial that I saw last week that captivated me, and it was perfectly placed. Everything's in divine order because I needed to see it because it related to this topic today. So the commercial that I saw was about a documentary called The Secret of Water. And in this documentary, it explores how water is a living substance and the power of water, and how water governs everything all through nature, even us. And it reminded me about how we are 70 to 90% water, depending on our hydration levels, which um, I'll talk about if you need me to talk about later. But so, what the experiment that they briefly showed, and I will show you, that was done is certainly relatable to the topic today. So I just want you to take a second. It's about a minute and 31 seconds, but it's important. So
in this experiment, Dr. Emoto's researchers used a glass of Tokyo tap water, which seems to be unable to form crystals, and performed a test. Participants placed the glass in the center of their circle and sent gratitude to the water. Studying the water under the microscope, they started to see a crystal formation. Increased magnification showed the symmetry of the crystal, revealing how the tap water was transformed by the gratitude sent by the group. The crystal continued to grow, expressing the energies received. The tap water from Tokyo finally produced a beautiful crystal.
I thought that was so beautiful, that you the kids were able to speak, and send vibrations of love and positivity and gratitude to the water, and in turn the water responded and just turned into a crystal, and turned into a living organism. And then in the documentary, it talks about how water loses life as it's processed, and it goes into, uh, from our homes, and it goes through the process, and we add all these chemicals to it and all that. So, long story short, that brings me to the topic of the week. You are what you consume. And I know that you probably thought I was just going to talk about food. And I will talk about it for a second because, as you may know, or you may not know, I've been practicing a plant based lifestyle since 2017, 6 months into me having my son. I decided I watched What the Health, or yeah, I watched What the Health on June 25th, 2017. And on that day, I cold turkey stopped eating meat. I didn't stop eating dairy or eggs. That was a transition, and a long transition. But overall, I've been meatless. I should say meatless since 2017. And the other things have ebbed and flowed out of my life because it's very hard. Anyway, I'll touch on it for a bit. It's not the overall message I want to convey today. I actually just wrote a blog about uh, Kansas City food spots for the not playing vegan. I'm gonna post it to my pages here shortly. And then I have another blog called Kansas City Food Spots for the Transitioning Vegan. And I use vegan because it's a buzzword, but I really don't like the word vegan per se because I feel like veganism is a whole religion itself. And so I don't necessarily like to use that word. But um, eating food is karmic. And so, literally, what you put in your body will respond to what or your body will, you're telling your body how to respond by what you put into your body, is basically what I'm saying. So if you choose to eat a fresh, living, healthful, simple diet, your body will be able to process food at a faster time, and it will allow for your body to function at its highest level. But if you choose to eat a highly processed diet, even veganism is highly processed. So if you choose to eat a highly processed diet, your body will have to work overtime to process, like, first of all, like, what the heck is this food that you're putting in my body? Or what are you trying to get me to process into energy? And it will not be able to function at its best. And that's where dis-ease is born. That's where ailments are born. People are saying, oh, I'm just getting old. Well, actually, no, you're not getting old. You're just eating things that aren't conducive to your body environment, and your body is telling you, I'm tired. I was tired of processing the crap. So just, refraining from it, or changing your mind and changing your life, can really help your body. In fact, I I always have the kids, every time my sub ask me, I always say, well, how old do you think I am? And then they'll shoot like, 20, 25. I've heard 16. And some younger kids, I'll be like, they'll be like 50. And I'm like, oh, well, the lie detector test determined that's a lie. But the kids that get close, they'll be like 30, 35, 34. And I'm like, I'm actually almost 40. And then you'll hear the kids go, whoa, I can't believe you're almost 40. It's also because I don't act like what they typically think, a 40-year-old. And we already have these preconceived notions of what we think people act like or look like when they are a certain age. So I make sure to tell them that black don't crack, because it don't. But also, as my husband and I was talking about the other day, like, I did look like I was 40 when I was in my mid 20s. And because of my plant-based diet, I have reversed my age. I bet if I did my chronological age, I would be right at where my age is, or a little bit younger, because my body feels like it. I mean, I can function great. I don't have makeup on. You guys are probably looking at me like, what? She doesn't make them. I have lipstick and I have lashes. That's it. This skincare is because of my plant-based dieting. So I am a walking poster for plant-based diet. Check out my blog for more information. This whole entire month, I'm going to be posting each week in honor of Veganwary. I'm posting each week a blog about plant-based dieting. And then make sure to check out Netflix's newest food documentary, You Are What You Eat. Um, I watched it. It got a little boring at the end. I swear to God, I almost fell asleep. Actually, I lied. I fell asleep toward the end, but I did wake up to see the results of they took two twins, fed one an omnivore diet, fed the other a vegan diet for 8 weeks, and worked them out. Took pee poop examples, all of that. Anyway, they got to the end. You gonna learn today because they certainly inject some knowledge and drop some dimes about the environmental effects of consuming meats, and what actually is it doing to your body. So yeah, if you're interested, I certainly think that you should check it out. I, as a researcher, I appreciate the objectivity of documentaries, because there's a lot of people walking around here with they're presenting um, their facts, but it's actually the opinion and their feelings laced in the facts. Um, so there may be some truth to it, but it's just true to them. It's not actually true, if that makes sense. And so I, I I have a theory about it too. So people who struggle with making change or changing their diet, especially when it's around food. Food is such a connector. It's a love connector. There is a reason why people say food is a way to a man's heart, but food is a way to anybody's heart. And actually, the way that we're nurtured um, can can help or will have us adopt the belief system, the moral system, and the value system of those who fed us. And so when we get to a space where we have to unlearn and relearn, it's not just a cognitive thing that we have to unlearn and relearn, but we also have to, with our heart, unlearn and relearn. We have to detach the fried chicken that our grandma made us, or the fire catfish that our mom made us, or our dad made us, or the fire ribs that our dad made us. We have to detach that from the person. And sometimes they go hand in hand. Subconsciously, we're not even thinking about it consciously, but subconsciously, we have to detach the action of the person that gave us the food and the person. So, me giving up chicken is not saying that I love my mom any less, because when I ate chicken, she made some fire chicken. Let me tell you, she still does make some fire chicken. I'm sure it's fire, but I can't even stand the smell of cooked meat anymore. That's where I'm at. But yeah, I used to have to walk in her house and be like, "Oh, this chicken smells good." But now I can be in her house and she's cooking chicken and it's just fine. I'm just fine. I detached that. Um, which brings me to my point. So it's not only about food. You are what you consume, but it's environmentally. You are what you see. You are what you experience. You are what you believe, and you are what you value. I mentioned, and I'll keep mentioning, that it takes 28 days to create new neural pathways. But it also, when you create that new pathway, then it takes 10,000 repetitions at least for you to adopt that into your life as a natural thing, as a second nature thing. And so, and then the older that we get, the longer it takes, because you'll never be able to change one's life experience. And so, if their life experience has validated the belief, then they'll double down on it. Okay, so I have to tell you a real life example, and this one kind of hurts. it still kind of hurts. It was an ouch. Um, so my son and I were at a local playground, indoor playground, for his last day of winter break. And in this indoor playground, they have a bounce house where you can uh, where the kids can bounce in there. And there's like 5 million boys in this bounce house, and they're all bouncing and wrestling on top of each other at any given time. And I look around the indoor playground, and all the parents just took their kids to indoor playground so they could look at their phone. So we had a lot of kids playing, a few adults supervising the kids. Me, I supervise my son because I don't let him by himself. And then all the other parents are on their phone, right? So at this time, Raymond, my son, places me at a spot because he likes to run in and run out. He's on repeat. So he runs in and runs out the bounce house. And I look up and I notice, like, after 30 seconds that he's not running out the bounce house. So instinctually, I go to the bounce house to check on him, see if he decided to go down the slide. And as soon as I hit the corner, I see this little boy hit him. So then I walk into the bounce house and I'm like, don't hit my son. Like, and then the little boy starts explaining that Raymond climbed on his little brother and starts pinching him or scratching him, which that there's no lie. Raymond communicates by scratching, especially if he doesn't like something. So he scratches the little brother because the little brother's in the way. He is trying to get up the slide, but the little kids are in the way. So he scratches him. And then he actually scratched the little boy that hit him. And so I immediately apologize. I pull Raymond into me and I say, I'm so sorry that this happened. And I said, Raymond has autism. He's not able to communicate with words. So he communicates with action. And the little boy goes, oh, yeah, I got one of those in my class. And then, I brush that off. That's how little kids talk. Anyway, I then, turn to his little brothers and I say, are you okay? The little brothers are just crying or whatever. And then the little boy says, he says, hold on, this is going to take a second because this is hard for me to say. He says, sorry. I didn't think I was going to get all emotional about it. He says, I hate that Black people are so annoying to me. And I was about to brush it off, but then I was like, wait. So I turned to him, I say, what did you say? And then he doubled down. He said, I hate that Black people are just so annoying to me. And then I tell him, I'm like, that's racist. And then he quickly says, oh, I'll cut it out. And then he takes his little brothers and he walks away, or he walks to where the parent is not there. Actually, the kids are playing. The parents are nowhere near. Like I said, they were all on their phone. And it just, it jaded me. It jaded me for the rest of the day. And here's why it jaded me. I wasn't even mad about it, but I was sad about it. I was sad first for my son, who he's nonverbal, doesn't speak yet, but because he's brown, that still doesn't absolve him from racism. So he will experience racism. He's 7. And he won't be able to tell me about the racism that he experiences. So at that point, I'm there while he's experiencing it. And I'm able to walk through with the other person. This kid was like 7 or 8. So I'm walking through with this little kid, his words, or the words that he's saying. But I know like this is the first situation that he's been in where there's racism that's happened, but there may have been another situation that he's been in that I haven't been a part of. I wasn't there. So that is my primary concern. And that was my primary concern for my son. But I also experienced sadness for the little boy. And I experienced sadness for the little boy because of the messages. Because I'm thinking, what messages has he consumed in his environment about Black people? In fact, if in fact he hated his interaction with Black people, how many Black people has he actually interacted with? That's another thing. But from what he said, like I have one in my class, I assumed that also the little boy that was in his class has autism and is also brown. So he attached the action of Raymond to the action of the little boy that's in his class and was able to infer based on his interaction with Raymond and the other little boy that Black people are annoying. All of these things I will never know. But uh, I just know that the words that the little boy said evoked an emotional and mental response from me, and his words and actions evoked an emotional and mental response from my son. And so it just mind blown. Our words are so powerful to change the molecular structure of water. And in fact, if we are 70 to 90% water, words are changing us. Words do change us. So I have on my vision board for this year, and year as in March to March, because I do my vision boards in March when the newness of the world is happening, or of my world, spring's happening. But words create worlds. The words that you say to yourself, the words that you say to others, they create the world that you live in, that we live in. So it's incredibly important to be mindful of not only what we say, but also what we watch on TV, the music that we listen to, the content we consume on social media, and the content that we search on the internet, and even the people that we hang around, family or not. When I taught full time, I used to watch a lot of TV to decompress my brain after working with other people's kids. Let me tell you, it was a lot. And so I particularly loved Shonda Rhimes dramas. I still do, but you could catch me every Thursday sitting on that couch from 7 to 9, or 7 to 10, completely consuming Shonda Rhimes. And Netflix, I was a binge watcher. Orange is the New Black. I know the whole show. And the local news. And as I consumed these things, even though I felt informed and I was immersed in other people's creative outlets, the words that were coming to me were subconsciously creating a fear about living everyday life. So watching the news, I was in fear. Didn't even know I was in fear, but subconsciously I was in fear and recreating these what was happening on a micro level outside of my home and on a macro level inside of my home. So I'm recreating it like this could happen to us. And it's like, it can happen to us, but the news is highlighting a very micro, um, portion of what's actually happening. There's so much stuff happening all the time. And then the dramas, even though it's fake, it could happen in real time. But I was creating unnecessary drama in my relationship, even over what I was watching that was by actors online. So certainly had to dial back as to what I was consuming and watching what I was consuming and clearing my psyche after I consume it, because I still love me a good drama. Regarding people, the proverb birds of a feather flock together, 110 million% true. We do tend to gravitate to people who reflect who we are at our current space and where we are in life. So if we look at our friend circle and we're like, we don't want to be like that, then you got to change your friends. And I'm not just speaking to the younger generation. I'm also speaking to the older generation too. You got to change the people that you hang around. They may be, friends that you have from around the way on the block, but eh, but y'all might not vibrate in the same space anymore. And that's okay. It's okay to outgrow people. It's okay to change. You can with love. You don't have to release them in anger. You can release them in love. Say, I love you. But also, this is not something that I do anymore. So releasing people in love. I've been released in love. Let's talk about it. I am a huge personality, and sometimes a lot to handle. And in my true Leo Sagittarius fashion, I am sometimes self-centered and self-focused, and I have a strong opinion about things. And sometimes people, don't want to hear that. They don't want to be around my energy. So sometimes they release me with love, and I'm okay with that because the people that I have around me are the people that love me and the people that I need, my soul needs at that very moment. So I'm completely okay with it. As to the point of the internet, and I want to share with you something that I share with my students, but I also want to share it with you, whoever's watching. It's important. Here's the three things I tell my students about being online. First of all, question everything. Don't believe what you read. As what you read, because anything that you believe, you will be able to validate with something that you read online. I can Google anything. I can Google anything that I don't believe, and it'll pop up. It'll pop up and affirm my beliefs and affirm my values. So question everything. Secondly, research all sides of the issue, and then be able to discern or master the ability to discern if what you're reading or listening to is an objective fact or someone's opinion that's laced with so much emotion that's passed off as a fact. Okay, when it's really opinion. Many people don't upset or possess these critical thinking skills. So there are many radicalized people passing off their opinions as facts. So I am here to encourage you today. Please, 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 please proceed with caution, and look for objective facts and build your critical thinking skills. Ultimately, here's my overall message today. If words of love and gratitude and negative words can change the shape of water, the molecular structure of water, and living things, including humans, are mostly water, then words literally change the shape of us as people. So we have to be careful with our thoughts, and we have to be careful what we think about ourselves, and we have to be careful about the words that we speak to others. You are literally praying and meditating negativity and fear hi Maxwell, if you are breeding these spaces and putting that out into the universe. So, my engagement question today is, what are you currently consuming that you're giving up because it doesn't serve your best interest? And if you're watching live now, you can put it in the chat. But if you're catching this on replay, you can still put it in the chat. I'd love to know what you are currently consuming that you're giving up because it doesn't serve your best interest. And I'm giving up being a procrastinator. I've been a procrastinator my whole entire life, and it has not served me well. It has not served me in any capacity to be a procrastinator. Although I do my best work at the last hour. I do. But I would like to be more organized. And so I'm trying to find a way, or actually, I'm not trying to find a way. The ways are coming to me, and I just need to put be productive and put those in action so that I can help myself to be more productive and not just be busy with a whole bunch of stuff. Because I'm like squirrel. I think I have undiagnosed ADD. Um, those creative types like myself, highly creative. I'm always like, what about this? What about this? What about this? Yeah, I'm creative and I'm multi-passionate. It just doesn't go together. So I have to find a way to hone all of this energy in, because I'm like, woo, I did start journaling my thoughts. That's helped a lot so I can visualize. And I used to just journal in my notes on my phone, but now I actually started journaling, like writing things. And so that's helped a lot. Also, if you find yourself stuck in any type of life rut, I suggest that you get some self-help books. You research some positive quotes. I'm team quote. Look at my quote right here. What hope we have lies not in the light that blinds, but in the dark that nourishes, where human souls grow, or humans grow souls. It's inside of us, because I know that if I felt scared, my son, when he was in my belly, he was like kick, 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 kick. When I felt happy, he was like kick, 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 but in a different way. If you tune into that, you know. Um, find educational resources on personal growth. I got a book for you. This is a book, Oprah Club book. But if you're interested, now your soul has to be ready to read this, because when I had this book for a long time. When I first read it, I was like, what the heck? Like I could not grip it at all. But if you have an open mind and an open heart to humanity, I think you'll be able to read this with ease. Eckhart is pretty deep though, so um, you got to be ready for this book. It's not a light read at all. Actually, I read this book, and while I was reading this book, I went to a podcast, Oprah's podcast, where she interviewed Eckhart Tolle, and then he talked about each chapter. So I had to do that. Anyway, get maybe get that book. Also, I am into podcasts now, so that's why I had to start one myself. You can listen to, if you're into relationship stuff like I am, connecting with people, the R Spot. I love Van Zant, love her. Next Level Soul with Alex Ferrari. It's a little bit woo woo-y, but love listening to and opening my mind with Alex Ferrari. Eckhart Tolle, he has one, but his voice is dry, so you got to be like, don't listen to that. Actually, you can listen to that as you go to sleep, because it will impart on your subconscious. But if you are one that don't listen to while you drive, because you'll get it to highway hypnosis and crash. So I listen to it actually while I'm running, because that's where I can inhale his teachings the best. On Purpose with Jay Shetty. Where Should We Begin by Esther Perel. I love her because she talks about connecting with people. Lovers and Friends by Shan Boudreaux. She's a sexologist, and I've watched her for a long time. And then Even Me by Dr. Shirlisa Jackson. I started doing a Mal Minute for her podcast, and now that's propelled me into this space. So check all of those podcasts out on yeah, anywhere you listen to your podcast. And then I was a little long today, but I'll leave you with a quote and affirmation. So my quote today or my affirmation for today is, I am letting go of things that don't bring me happiness or peace. Baby, I'm almost, listen, I keep saying I'm almost 40. We don't talk about how we 39, but I'm 39, almost 40. And if it's not happy and if it's not peaceful, it's got to go. It's getting the cord cut. So I'm letting go of things that don't bring me happiness or peace. And then I loved this because this doesn't just apply to food. You got to look at the deeper meaning. So when you start eating food without labels, you no longer need to count calories. Amanda Kraft. So yeah, it's true. When you start eating live, living, healthful foods, you no longer need to count calories. You can eat as much as you want, because when I inhale, for example, if I inhale an apple, I eat one. and my body just says apple, apple, apple. I know where that goes. I know where that goes. It goes to my body. But if I'm eating something that's processed, I got to look and see what the ingredients are. And then my body's like, I cannot compute as it goes down. And then it turns into waste that gets stuck in your belly. And then you can't get it out. And then it creates disease all in your body. But that's food. But this is also for people or for just life. If you consume humanity without labels, then you'll no longer need to count calories, or you'll no longer need to look at humanity in a way that's something different than you, because we are all one human race, and we do have our differences, but you won't be able to see, you'll be able to see their heart. You won't just be able to look at their physical features. You'll be able to see someone's heart when you approach them without labels. Okay, that's all that I have for you today. May love, light, peace, joy, all of the things meet your doorstep in this moment and as you move through your day. And tune in, check out my blog, whenmallorylives.com. And then check me out next week. I'm doing an episode called The Power of Serving Your Community. Until then, love and peace to all of you. Have the best week.